name's Jenn Heimberger. I'm a co-owner of Coffee Connections. I'm married to Jeff, and we have 3 daughters, Tessa, Alice, and Erin. So my story begins with my first husband. We were college sweethearts, and we'd been married for about 5 years and had our first child, Tessa. And she was about 2 years old, and we found out that we were having twins. And then a couple of months later, we found out that he had stage 4 sarcoma. And I went on bed rest, and he went on chemo, and it was a really difficult time for us. And the girls were born, Alice and Erin. He took care of us for about 6 weeks, and then I took care of him for the next 5 weeks in the hospital. And he died. And I had 11-week-old twins and a 2.5-year-old who couldn't figure out why her dad wasn't coming back. My mom and my sister and my mother-in-law and our church community came together in such a fantastic way. But it was, even with all of that support, it was still really hard. I was very angry at God. We had done what He wanted us to do, and this felt like a really terrible repayment. I finally came to a place where I made peace with my situation and with everything that had happened, and I realized that God works all of these things out for the best in His will, and I don't see it. I may never see it, but I needed to come to grips with that, and I finally did. Jeff and I met online a couple of years later, and he had been in California. He moved back. He was online looking for friends, looking for just people to hang out with, and you can bet that he was not looking for a widow who was 5 years older with lots of very small children. And he just felt that this was something he wanted to pursue, and that he wanted for himself. So that's our story of how we met. We both have a heart that loves to be generous, and we met Nate and Sharon at church. They were the kids pastors at the church we're attending, and they had this coffee bike, and we didn't really get it. We didn't understand really what they were doing. And then the brick and mortar location in Hilliard came available, and we said, yes, we understand this better. We can get our minds around that. So we became partners with them and got involved in Coffee Connections. At one point, my life was just over. It just felt like it was over after my first husband died, and I did not see myself going on. And I did. I picked myself up and said, I need to continue. And I had a really good support group around me to help with that. Dealing with tragedy and trauma, especially the death of a spouse, takes longer than you think it should to heal and to start to move forward from that. To tie it to Coffee Connections, there are going to be ups and downs and things that go well and things that don't go well, and we're going to try things and they're going to fail. And we might have some unhappy people here and there. But what I learned, one of the things I learned from the tragedy that I've been through, is that we need to keep trying, and that we need to keep persisting in what we feel God has called us to, through the hard times and through the better times, and to continue to keep on keeping on. So that's one of the things that I want to bring to Coffee Connections as an owner is that background of going through tragedy and keeping on, and helping the business do the same thing through the growing pains that are inevitable. I'm not as involved as the other 3 partners are, but I really want to be at the feast in heaven someday and see people who were there, who became part of the story because of Coffee Connections. That's my heartbeat, that's my purpose for being there and for being part of this.